Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting, and it's Paydirt review time again. And since it is still Australia month, we're going to be going through another bag of Paydirt from Australia, and more specifically, a 1 gram bag from Gold Rat Engineering. So this is their 1 gram kiwi bag, but just to make it a little bit more fun, I also decided to get one of their 5 gram bags. So I'm going to be going through both of these bags today, and I am super excited. But I'm also super excited for the end of the month when I'll be giving away this 3.8 gram Bark Gold Nugget from Australia. So look later in this video and I'll tell you how you can get a chance to win this. But for right now, let's just flash up the description for these 2 bags of Paydirt, go to the overhead, and check them out a little bit closer. As you saw, a pretty basic description. It doesn't really tell you too much about the Paydirt itself other than where it comes from and the shape of the gold. Other than that, not too much. Now, it doesn't tell you the weight on these, so I'm just going to weigh them up to see 344 grams or 12 ounces. The 5 gram bag is 10.6 ounces or 302 grams. So 302 versus 344. But let's open up the 1 gram bag. Check it out. Oh, I just have to use the scissors. I will rinse this bag as well as this one out before the end of the video. So far, almost all the material we've been doing this year is more typical of what you would find in the United States. Is tan color, not too much of the red stuff that I've panned a lot out previously, but not complaining. This stuff is fun and the gold is extremely beautiful. Now, I am not going to classify either one of these down sake of time. We're just going to pan them out straight like this. We're going to pan out the 1 gram first, and then we're going to pan out the 5 gram bag. But first, let's check this one for magnetite and see how much is in there, if anything. So far, none of the Aussie Paydirt has really been too heavy, and this one included. Sorry about the squeaking. Not too heavy and magnetic, so should be easy to pan out, but the only real way to find out is to pan it out, so let's go get some water and do just that. So if you want to win this 3.8 gram Australian Bark Gold Nugget, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is be a subscriber or Patreon member and then leave a comment below. And make sure you add in Miller Prospecting somewhere in your comment. Now, if you are a Patreon member, not only can you leave a comment on this video, but you can leave a comment on the video I'm going to post on Patreon. And I will be pulling one name from the YouTube list of comments and then 2 names from the list of comments on the Patreon page. I will be doing this for 4 videos that I post in the month of January about Australian Paydirts. And then on January 30th during the live show, I will pull all those names, put them in a big wheel, spin it, and then pick one name, and that one person will win this beautiful Australian Bark Gold Nugget.
I'm going back to Australia. Just let me put my boots back on. Don't want to unpack and stay here too long. I'll just grab my bag and I'll be traveling on. Well, it's 15 minutes drive to Kansas City and a 3.5-hour flight to LA. 6 long hours in Tom Bradley Terminal. Then we're finally on our way. Going back to Australia. Just let me put my boots back on. Don't want to unpack and stay here too long. Just grab my bag and I'll be traveling on. Well, it's 15 hours flying time to Sydney. We'll arrive tomorrow plus 1 day. Wave at Hawaii and to Fiji. Crack a joke at the equator on our way. Well, the ocean there is calling out my name, like it always has and always will. Nothing's changed, I'm going back to Australia. Let me put my boots back on. Don't want to unpack and stay here too long. Just grab my bag.
Well, finished panning everything out as you saw, and that was a little bit difficult to pan out, but we'll talk about that in a minute. For right now, let's show you the gold I found. And there we go, a small little pile and a big little pile from the 5-grammer. So let's take these down, weigh them up, make sure we got the stated amount. Now, I will say it is very, very cold in my studio, so my scale has been kind of wonky right now. I will have to go up and reweigh these upstairs outside of my studio just to double check the weights for the final review, just in case something's off a little bit because of the cold weather. But let's weigh up the 1-gram bag. Let's see how much we got. And there we go, 1 gram on the dot. So just what I was guaranteed. I was not guaranteed more, but I was guaranteed 1 gram. One little tiny piece hanging out. Now let's weigh up the 5-gram. And there we go, 5.005 grams. Now for these bags from Gold Rat Engineering, they were a little bit difficult. The gold is really, really flat. It clouded up the water a small bit, and there actually was a lot of black sands, and it wasn't magnetized. So for a beginner panner, I would give this a hard. For an advanced panner, it'd be medium, but for an expert pan, it is still easy Paydirt to go through. All right, finished calculating my ROIs, writing up my reviews, and let's get right to it. Now, again, I went through 2 bags of Paydirt from Gold Rat Engineering, or as their website is named, highbanker.com.au. Now, the 2 bags I went through were their 1-gram kiwi bag and their 5-gram kiwi bag. They were obviously guaranteed 1 gram and 5 grams. Now, the cost of the 1 gram bag was $104.05 in AUD. The shipping was $20.19, again, AUD, for a total cost of 124.24 Australian dollars. But in USD, it was only $81.52 shipped from Australia for a 1 gram bag of gold. Now, the 5 gram bag was $522.73 in AUD, $16.42 shipping, for a total cost of $539.15 AUD. But in USD, it was only $353.76, which is why I ordered 2 bags from the seller, because they were both guaranteed an over 70% ROI. In fact, they were both guaranteed an over 75% ROI, and this is Australian Paydirt shipped. Now, with the 1 gram bag, I recovered exactly 1 gram. And with the 5 gram bag, I also recovered exactly 5 grams. And I did go upstairs into my nice warm house and make sure the scale was warm, and I double checked, and they were both exactly 1 gram and 5 grams. Now, the gold spot on the day that these were ordered by my secret shopper was $61.34 for both bags, making the 1 gram bags gold worth $61.34, while the 5 gram I recovered $306.70 worth of gold, giving me a ROI for the 1 gram bag of 75.25%, or on my scale, a 7.5. Now, for the 5 gram bag, I actually got a whopping 86.70% ROI with a score of an 8.7 on my scale. Now, for fun factor, I'm going to leave them the exact same. I actually do think they were really, really fun, and I might have wanted to bump them up a little bit, but just for the sake of argument, I'm going to leave them the same as the ROI of a 7.5 and an 8.7. For description, they're both only getting a 4. It's the same description for both bags of Paydirt, and it's definitely wanting a little bit more. But it does tell you it's from Australia, and it does tell you how much gold you're going to recover, so that's always a bonus. Now, for quantity and packaging, they're only getting a 6.5. 5 for quantity because they don't tell you how much dirt you're going to get. And that, to me, is a big thing, because it could just be a small 100 gram bag, or it could be a 600 gram bag. You just don't know the size of it. So they're only getting a 5 for quantity, and they're getting 8 for packaging for the typical coffee bag. So a 6.5 total. And lastly, for customer service and shipping, they're getting a 10 for both. A 10 for customer service and a 10 for shipping. It shipped out incredibly fast, it arrived in the United States incredibly fast, and their customer service was excellent. So a total score of 10 for each of them, giving me total scores of 7.1 and 7.6. And the only reason they didn't get a much higher score is because obviously the description and the quantity, which is really because of the description. So other than those two, though, they really hit in the places that you want a Paydirt to hit, which is the ROI, the fun factor, customer service, and shipping. Those are the most important things, I think, in a bag of Paydirt, and they definitely met those. And some really, again, high ROIs. Now, would I recommend or buy this Paydirt again? And most definitely, I think Gold Rat Engineering is going to be my new #1 recommended Australian Paydirt vendor. And I think everyone, if you're going to buy some Australian Paydirt, this is the company to buy from. Guaranteeing a 75% ROI is unbelievable, coming all the way from Australia. And again, they have a lot of US sellers that can't even match that. And if you can get their 5 gram bag and get close to an 86% ROI, I really think you should go for it. Now, I know a lot of people aren't going to like the fact that you're going to find exactly 1 gram or exactly 5 grams, but that's what you're paying for. And if that's the little bit that they have to cut out to give you a really high ROI and not putting a little bit more in there, and now you're getting a 70% ROI, I'm happy with that. I'm happy to recover 5 grams and get an 86% ROI from Paydirt. It was shipped to my secret shopper all the way from Australia. So again, I really love this company. Again, it will be my #1 recommended company. But that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. Happy painting. And if you're not already a subscriber, think about hitting the subscribe button below.